Welcome to the Learning and Development channel, where you can learn, lead, and make a difference.
So let's take a look at the training design for the revised grade 6, 9, and 10 curriculum. So join me as we walk through the details of the training design. Ito po, we wish to explicitly communicate with you. Later, si Sir Mark for Senior High will be doing the same because we want, as we said in the purpose, we want the same level of understanding and internalization of the training design. Firstly, we want to emphasize the design guide points. Ito po, this has been our mindset from the beginning of the design and development of the TRP, or the Training Resource Package, that at the heart of the training program is the revised curriculum. Now, this is a training on the revised curriculum. The training's foundation should be the clear presentation of the curriculum changes and updates. All other sessions covering content, knowledge, curriculum, planning, pedagogy, and assessment are anchored in this foundation. To ensure that we get to set parameters and what only matters for now, given only a handful of time, what topics such as skills, attitudes, or KSAs are acquired that they can immediately apply in the classroom. Okay, because sometimes that's the challenge in training design. The tendency to put so much sessions in it, the tendency to include, to integrate several sessions, na in the end, when teachers are asked, anong nakuha nila, which they find to be the most useful in classroom for the implementation of revised curriculum, we find out that many sessions are actually accessories. No po? Maraming sessions ang, in terms of level of importance, I could be conducted at another opportunity. So what we want to do in the last phase, the third and last phase, is to give them what's really important, what they could immediately use and apply back in the classroom, so they would feel supported. No po? They would feel equipped to implement the revised curriculum. Next slide, please. Okay, our target participants. Who are we training for this third and last phase of the revised curriculum training? We are catering to beginning to highly proficient teachers. And we have the specific figures on screen. For grade 6, we are targeting 92,282 grade 6 teachers, 75,980 grade 9 67,769 grade 10 teachers, totaling 236,031 grade 6, 9, and 10 teachers. These are whom we hope to help, support, and get equipped for the implementation of the revised K-10 curriculum implementation. Okay. So as we move forward to the next slide, to our tech team, can we please make sure that our participants are still getting the visuals on their end and the audio as well? Friends, perhaps you may want to refresh also your MS Teams. It's either the internet or the device being loaded with so much works. Okay, yeah, thank you. Please send us thumbs up or heart react before continuing to make sure na we are on the same page. Okay. So moving forward, still on the grade 6, 9, and 10 teacher training, let's look at the training duration and modality. Okay. For this training program, we have been approved with a total of 4 training days or 32 hours in terms of implementation. Okay. The modality designed is face-to-face or in person. Okay. Again, 32 hours or 4 training days face-to-face. That's the modality for this particular training. Next. Yeah. As we move to the next slide, friends, you may want to take Sir Noel's suggestion to leave very quickly lang the MS Teams and then immediately go back in. That probably refreshes your MS Teams and allow you with clearer visuals and audio. Okay. So let's talk about the design. Okay. We would like to give emphasis on how important training design is. And this is the same process that the senior high school team took. The design serves as our blueprint for the learning experiences. We have to have a clear basis for the direction in designing and developing the sessions, ensuring that we are all anchored in the same set of training objectives. So our training design mainly defines what must be learned and how learning should occur. In our training designs, both for grade 6, 9, and 10 and the Strengthened Senior High School curriculum, we put premium to identifying learning goals, setting time allotment, determining and preparing the resources, structuring and sequencing instructional content. Importante din po yung pagkakahabi, pagkakasunod-sunod ng session to make up one complete, holistic, logical story in the training, the methodologies or the instructional strategies to be employed, and the learning assessment. So as implementer, we should be of the same understanding and appreciation of these elements of the training design. Next. Okay. When we work on standard training design, we get to ensure that the training resource package is aligned with the intended outcomes, that we communicate messages, information across governance levels coherently and consistency, and we make sure that from start to finish, the training is learner-centered or is always focused on our target participants, who are the grade 6, 9, and 10 teachers. Now, part of the design, and we believe the most critical part of the design, are the workplace development objectives, or WDOs. Okay, in every training, in every learning experience, it's important that we clearly establish where do we want to go, how precisely do we want to help teachers, what do we want them to gain from the training, and we have outlined specific training objectives or workplace development objectives which we hope to achieve as the training progresses. Next. So in a training design and in the set of objectives, and this is similar to what the senior high school curriculum training group designed or established, it's important na malinaw po yung competencies na tina-target i-build or i-develop among the recipients. Output is specific. What precisely do we want them to produce by the end of the training that would indicate that they were able to acquire the KSAs we provide them? The outcomes, what do we want them to do and achieve back in the classroom, and impact, how do we wish to contribute to the organization? Okay, so these 4 levels of learning gains are mainly what we call the enabling, terminal, application, and results objective. Understanding these 4 levels of objectives would make it also easier for you to appreciate monitoring and evaluation aspect of every training. So let's take a look at the WDO set for this training. Next. Next slide, please. There. For the enabling objectives, these are specific competencies we want to develop among teachers. 1, with the help of this training, or in the duration of this training, we hope the teachers will get to analyze the key features and changes in the grade 6, 9, and 10 curriculum, that they'll be able to apply the instructional design framework to plan learner-centered lessons. They'll be able to apply appropriate teaching strategies that address learners' context and align with the revised curriculum standards. Another enabling objective that we hope to achieve in this training is for teachers to be able to employ or use assessment methods and strategies that effectively monitor and measure learner progress and achievement in the target learning competencies. And 5th and finally, the values, attitudes that we also want to cultivate among teachers is for them to be able to demonstrate engagement, adaptability, creativity, and innovativeness in delivering the revised grade 6, 9, and 10 curriculum. When all these enabling objectives are attained, we hope that by the end of the 4-day or 32-hour training, our teachers would be able to design a sample lesson plan that integrates appropriate instructional strategies and relevant assessment methods and strategies aligned with the learning competencies of the revised grade level and learning area curriculum. So you see how much we put emphasis on grade level learning area curriculum, because even in the crafting of objective, we want to make sure that teachers are supported within the parameters of their learning area specialization. Okay? When this particular output is produced by the end of the training, this is something, or this is a skill or a practice that we want them to continuously refine, even back in the classroom. And that is our application objective. That back in the workplace, back in the school, teachers would continuously design and deliver lessons responsive to learners' context, using appropriate instructional strategies and relevant assessment strategies, aligned, of course, with the heart of the training, the revised K-10 curriculum standards. All these 3 levels of objectives, when attained, we hope to contribute to the organization this way. Our results objective. Next. As a result of teachers' improved performance, by the help of this big curriculum training programs, we hope that learners will be able to demonstrate increased mastery of learning competencies as evidenced by the results of classroom-based and system assessments. Again, training could be just one of the many attributions to the increase in the mastery of learning competencies among learners. But of course, when we get to deliver this training with quality, we hope that there would really be improvement no po, in terms of effectiveness no po, and the delivery of learning experiences. So those are our workplace development objectives, which we hope to achieve by the help of the different sessions that we crafted for this training. And there are three types of sessions in this training program. The core, which gives the foundational sessions, providing the revised curriculum framework, guiding principles, overarching pedagogical approaches. Second type of session is the specialization or subject-specific sessions. We are conscious that teachers should be strengthened in terms of their curriculum navigation, content knowledge, and pedagogical skills. And finally, workshop. These are hands-on practice-oriented sessions where teachers would design, simulate, and refine lesson plans for classroom application. So malinaw na may tatlong klase po ng session within this particular training. And how do we make sense of these sessions within the training duration? Primarily during the national trainings and even up to the regional trainings, we hope to allot one day split into two, one half day for the opening program pretest and pre-work, and then the second half day or the last half day for the workplace application planning, post-test, and closing program. In between these two half days are the 3 full days where we hope to run core, specialization, and workshop sessions. There, okay? So, friends, colleagues, no? By looking at the training duration, again, we only have such an amount of time. And frankly speaking, such a limited amount of time. No? And that's why we hope that this training would be just simple, focused, relevant, and immediately applicable. Less accessory sessions, more focus on what would support teachers to effectively implement the curriculum. Next, please. Okay. I also want to emphasize that in the training resource package, there's this particular element or component we call modeling. Okay. Later, you would realize when you get to visit the training design that we allow more time during the curriculum deep dive and the subject-specific sessions. So there would be a time for deliberate demonstration of concepts, skills, behavior, or cognitive processes that are being taught during the session. This would allow teachers to observe, to imitate, and to practice with guidance. At sana po, itong mga modeling parts na to, kapag nagkakascade na tayo, ay we do not compromise, we do not skip, no po? We also do not shorten in terms of duration and hope that we get to stick to the time allotment para we get to run the sessions as intended. Okay, next please. Okay, in this training, we also have the so-called focused content. Remember, we're only operating within 4 training days, 3 full days, half and half, 32 hours. With such a limited time, we can only prioritize, di ba po? And what do we prioritize? Coming from the context that this is a revised curriculum training. This is not an entirely new curriculum, but a revised curriculum. No? So for training purposes, focused content are referred to as topics, concepts, skills within the revised curriculum that require enrichment during training. These may include the following: newly introduced concepts and skills, revised learning competencies. Because again, hindi po lahat ng LCs or learning competencies ay nirevise, binago, nag-shift, no? So you want to focus on the LCs that were revised. May mga shift in cognitive demand, areas that are challenging to teach. This requires support in terms of practical strategies for teaching and assessment. Are there commonly misunderstood concepts within the revised curriculum? No? Prerequisite knowledge or skills. If you've listened to the general shaping paper sessions from the last 2 phases, isa to sa mga primary drivers why the curriculum was revised. Diba po? There were unclearly communicated prerequisite knowledge or skills, if not unplaced prerequisite knowledge or skills. And of course, isa rin sa pinakamahalaga, competencies that learners consistently struggle to grasp. We were able to review data of least mastered competencies from the phase 3 pilot schools who implemented or pilot implemented 6, 9, and 10 curriculum, and we were able to gather data as to the least mastered competencies for the first 3 quarters of 6, 9, 10 curriculum pilot implementation. So that also helped us inform which focus or which content to focus on, which content to model. Okay, next. So this time is a rundown of the specific sessions. Again, there are 3 types of sessions: core, specialization, and workshops. Under core sessions, we have 2. Session 1, understanding the revised K-10 curriculum. This provides overview of the revised K-10 curriculum, outlining what were the key policy directives and research, and examining the curriculum's goals and defining features. Again, session 1 helps set the context and the foundation. It would be hard for teachers to embrace the change if they were not made aware why the need for change. Session 2, under core session, is the kindergarten to grade 10 instructional design framework. This session should establish teachers' foundational grasp of the framework, but more importantly, we want to highlight in this session how the framework's principles, aspects, and facets guide coherent and effective lesson design. So this is shifting from just the theoretical conceptual understanding of the framework into a more practical approach of discussing the framework. How does the framework guide us in designing effective lessons? So that's the bottom line of session 2. Next set of sessions are specialization, which begins with curriculum deep dive sessions. This is internalizing grade level learning area curriculum. As we said, this is something we cannot forgo, because how can teachers implement something that they do not understand, more so that they are not familiarized with? So these curriculum deep dive sessions would present key changes in the grade level learning area curriculum, covering the goal, framework, updated standards, and examining content performance standards. What were the major revisions to some of the learning competencies, and identifies newly introduced concepts, skills, and prerequisite knowledge. So this part of the training is really curriculum internalization. Intindihin muna what is expected of them na i-implement. Okay? Next, under specialization session, continue please. Okay, so the curriculum deep dive session would also streamline the process of aligning competencies with well-crafted learning objectives through clear and several examples of unpacking or clustering. A conscious effort in this training resource package is to provide more examples than just conceptual discussion. Okay, next. The second to the last important specialization session is session 5, determining appropriate teaching strategies for optimal learning. This session puts into application the instructional design framework. And how does it make sense into the teaching of the grade level learning area curriculum, showing how the principles, facets, aspects guide the design of meaningful learning experiences. So this is also the part where, next slide please, this is also the part of the training where teachers, along with the trainer, would explore a range of teaching strategies, including contextualization, differentiation, and approaches that develop higher order thinking, and concludes by mapping appropriate strategies to specific content areas and learning objectives. Ngayon naman, tutungo tayo sa huling specialization session. At ito po ang ika-6 na sesyon sa training na ito, Assessing Learning. This session applies still the IDF, but more specifically to the assessment process in the grade level learning area, informing sound assessment design. This session would help clarify the key principles of formative summative assessments and their roles in supporting learning. This is also the part where teachers would explore appropriate assessment methods by means of modeling, ensuring alignment with curriculum competencies. Okay. This session would conclude with identifying and mapping suitable assessment strategies to specific content areas, teaching approaches, and learning objectives. So the story, the narrative from curriculum navigation to pedagogy and assessment ay magkaroon ng malinaw at seamless na connection from understanding the curriculum, analyzing it, to designing the learning experiences by incorporating, or rather integrating, effective and appropriate strategies for teaching and assessment. There. Now, we're down to the last component or last type of sessions within the training. Bago po ako magpatuloy, if you are still with us and you are still getting this important information we're sharing, could you send me po thumbs up, reaction, heart reaction, and shower us with your love? Yes, and confirmation that you're getting these important info. Yan, maraming salamat po. So sa aking pagpapatuloy, ang huling yugto ng training ay ang mga workshops na po, no? And again, these are hands-on, simulating sessions. First workshop is building on curriculum map, lesson planning. This workshop offers a hands-on space for designing curriculum-aligned lessons in grade-level learning area. Again, you notice we consistently emphasize learning area-specific application. This workshop focuses on planning that entails setting smart learning objectives, exploring and designing purposeful teaching strategies, and aligning assessment methods. Now, I want to clarify what this workshop is and what it is not. Okay? Importante po yun para pag when we implement, nababantayan natin ang trainers at ang participants natin, ensuring na walang misconceptions kung paano i-run ang workshops na ito. What this workshop is and what it is not. Workshop 1, lesson planning, is a culminating exercise, that enables teachers to apply the knowledge, skills, and values gained from all prior input sessions by developing coherent and curriculum-aligned lesson plans. Just give me a second. Team, can we please kindly put on mute the microphone po? Team. Ayan, we're good. Thank you. Now, dun po tayo sa pangalawang punto. What it is not. Okay? This session is not intended to teach or retrain teachers on the fundamentals of lesson planning. Ibig pong sabihin, itong workshop na ito ay hindi po dapat umubos ng oras para lang talakayin ang mga bahagi ng lesson plan because it's innate to every deputy teacher. It's inherent rather to every deputy teacher to know the standards and existing guidelines for lesson planning. And for sure, our teachers would not want to be lectured about the basics, the fundamentals of lesson planning. What we want to maximize here is to apply the integration of their learned knowledge from the previous sessions and come up with a coherent curriculum-aligned LP or lesson plan. Okay? If that's clear, could you send us thumbs up, please, before I move on to the next workshop? What workshop 1 is and what it is not? Okay? Sige. Let's proceed to workshop 2. Yes, teaching demonstration po, okay? Hindi po ito nawala. We retain this particular mechanism to make sure that we allow teachers a structured way to deliver an instruction that aligns with curriculum standards, uses appropriate teaching strategies, and includes assessment methods from a prepared lesson plan. This session will support guided reflection through peer feedback so we could identify strengths, areas for improvement, both the instructional design and delivery. Now, bigyan po natin the end what this workshop is and what it is not. Next. Okay. This workshop is a culminating exercise that enables teachers to demonstrate their understanding and application of KSAs gained from all prior input sessions. What it is not. This workshop is not an exercise intended to evaluate teachers' performance using the principles and mechanics of formal classroom observation. So this is something we have to correct this time in the third and final implementation. Kung inyo pong matatandaan, base din sa inyong karanasan, nauubos po ang oras natin sa demo teaching because we try to fit it in within the context of COT, classroom observation, when it should not be the case. Because this workshop should rather focus on only assessing competencies and practices trained in the previous sessions. Hindi po pwede natin hanapin in this workshop ang mga bagay na hindi naman po natin tinrain sa kanila. Principle of assessment. We cannot assess something we did not teach, and so we cannot assess during this workshop what we did not train them about. So again, demo teaching, and I believe this is similar to the senior high school group or training group, demo teaching is not to evaluate teachers' performance using the mechanics of formal classroom observation. This is to allow them to simulate what they've learned from the previous sessions. All right? Sige po. Next. Okay. It's an iterative learning exercise. Yes. Na kung saan dapat ang demo teacher is assigned during the course of the workshop sessions. That is this workshop. This workshop is not an exercise where instructional delivery is treated as an exhibition of excellence or performance for recognition-based awards. Hindi rin po tayo nagpe-pre-assign ng teacher sa umpisa o bago pa man po mag-umpisa ang training because we are defeating the purpose of the training. We are faking the experience and the learning gains if teacher is pre-assigned before or in the early sessions of the training. So let's take note of what this workshop is and what it is not. Next. So, at ang panguling workshop, this is also similar to the next training po, no? Hindi po mawawala ang ating workplace application planning. This provides our teachers ample time to think, to plan, how will they be able to directly apply their learning from the training to school and classroom setting. So that's the third and final workshop. As we move to the next slides, and I think we're about to present the delivery phase and then wrap up this discussion po.
Watch the next video on the revised grade 6, 9, and 10 curriculum training program, delivery phase.
Like and subscribe to the L&D channel on YouTube using the link youtube.com/@learntolead channel.